Hi everyone! So today I thought I'll make an artsy video. You might wonder what that is. I don't quite know either. No, joking. So I think I am ready to share my journal experience. So as I was mentioning in my previous videos, I have bought a few different journals and I was thinking to start painting different subject matters in every one of them. And I don't know about you, but personally I find it quite overwhelming to see a new sketchbook and then just starting. I begin to think whether what kind of style it should be, how I should do it, what the structure should be, and all of these questions just overwhelm me and make it quite a long process for me to then actually open up a sketchbook and just go for it. So the other day I decided I will no longer be thinking, but I will start painting. So I began by, I think maybe a couple of images of how first this page was composed, and I might insert them somewhere here if I find them. Basically, I had, over the weekend, we went to a place called Anglesey Abbey, and they had a lovely garden and I took a few pictures, and this is what I'm doing lately. Wherever we go somewhere like that and I know there will be gardens, I do take my big camera with me and take pictures. And then I come home, have a look what I like and what I think I would want to paint, print them out, as you can see here, print them out on my selfie, Canon selfie, and the size I use is this card size. So this is another example from the same trip. Hello. Here we go. So basically that's the size. It comes with rounded edges and you just clip off the edges. I'm not entirely sure what these bits are for, but that's how they get printed. And why is it focusing over here? I don't know. It's here we go. So anyways, yeah, so that's how it comes. So in this bit here there were actually two pictures and I have cut them out. I will show you, and just collage them on top of each other like that. So the first thing, however, that I did was actually just paint this, and I didn't like the style of this painting. It looks very amateurish kind of thing, and I think I can paint better than that, so I wasn't very happy with it. Also, being first page is a little bit annoying because that's exactly what it is. I want everything to be perfect, and sometimes I just, overthink things. So anyways, then over here I thought I will decide, I will do like a sketch using the 01 micron fine liner. Hello, here we go. And yeah, and do the sketch. I really liked it, and so originally I went first with the pencil. Mine is the Mechanic Mozart Supplies 0.3 pencil, and then the sketch originally was fine, but I did a few bits here and there which I thought wasn't a best composition. So then when I went over with the pen, I actually was very happy with it, because then I could see what I didn't like, I just left, and the shapes that I needed to correct, I just corrected as I went, and that was a good lesson for me. And I think that this is, this is where I want the journal to go. I want it to be a learning experience, really. So I was going to watercolor this sketch, but I decided to leave it open as a reminder to myself of this first page that this was a good lesson. Something I know already, but still, I think, you know, sometimes you need to remind yourself of what you know and put it in practice. So what I've done here, and I think this is probably the layout that I want the sketchbook to have, is in the corner I note down all the colors that I have used, and they're obviously by Daniel Smith. And then over here I just put a little information, like a sort of diary thing, which day the picture was taken, where, and then I just wrote a few details about the structure and the colors of the actual flower, and that is it. And I think I quite like it. Here and there I did some sort of almost doodle-like little sketches, so it's you know, it kind of it's really is I would say it's a study of a flower or a plant, and that's why I decided to call this journal Flower/Plant Study. So I want to look at the structure, the shapes, the textures, and you know, that is the main agenda for this sketchbook, is for me to learn how to paint and improve my skills in floral painting, because sometimes you get the proportions wrong and, you know, it just doesn't look realistic. For example, you can see here the proportions are so much better than they are here, and here I haven't used any pencil or anything, and you know, maybe I'm not, well, some paintings I do well without pencils, but certain flowers maybe I should start when I'm painting a flower that I'm not familiar with a pencil or a fine liner first. So on this page I decided to note when I have started this journal. By the way, if you're wondering and if you like this nail polish, this is the nail polish that my son chose for me today. I have this big drawer of nail polishes, and he basically goes in and picks one, and this is the OPI vodka and caviar, which is one of my favorite OPI nail polishes. Back to the subject. So, note to self, I thought I will write down what I want to accomplish by the end of this sketchbook. So, learn the structure of a flower or plant. So, I want to look into how the center is growing, how the petals or the leaves are connecting, the shadowing, the correct way of placing a shadow, and highlights and things like that. Try to be free when drawing / painting. So that's the other thing. Sometimes I think this is the way I should be doing it, and really that is not a good mindset for painting or drawing, as I have discovered. You have to give yourself that element of freedom and just go for it. If you think, oh, this might be not right, just do it and see what happens. And if it doesn't go right, then you learn from it, you don't do it again. Or if it actually does do something really good, then you have learned something new. Third point is improve drawing technique. So that is what I already have mentioned. What helps me a lot with drawing is actually drawing. So before I start just doing watercolor, I should first draw the structure, and I think if I then from this would go into this watercolor painting would have been a lot better. Next point is discover my own art style. So that is a crucial point here, because I do want to learn how to paint, and you know, just say, or not just it being a slightly different perhaps style every time, but I do want to find my own style which I would paint in. if that makes sense. So if you would look at a few paintings, you would definitely be able to see a similarity of brush strokes or shapes or textures, and that is one of the big main points which I want to achieve. And the final point is experiment with new watercolors. So I put Daniel Smith, as I have recently discovered and I'm really in love with. So that's done. And then I have Schminke and Magella. I should have done it in reverse order, because I already have Magella palette sitting and waiting for me to create the palette, because they're tubes. So you need to squeeze all the colors into the palette and do the swatches and start playing with them as well. So that's already waiting for me, and I kind of think I want to try Schminke as well, just because I've seen a lot of flower painters and illustrators use Schminke because of its transparency. So that is this, and I am absolutely loving my big gold clip, which I have mentioned before. I have ordered it from Jackson's Art. It's the Clampy Panko, in case you're wondering, and it is very sturdy, very strong. So I do love that. I love that it's quite long. This is a medium size, and yeah, so that is it. I think I have mentioned everything. I'll quickly just run through what I have used here. So I used this Sharpie pen, which I actually have fallen in love with and have been using it a lot in my writing lately. Probably most of my writing is done with this pen. So this pen is used in this area and this area. Now you might think that this looks exactly the same like that, but it's actually not. So this one is the 0.3 micron. Where is it? Over here. So they are very similar, as you can see. So I used the 0.3 micron for here, and I am trying to think which one I used on this side, and I really can't remember. It's one of those, so I'm sorry, I can't remember. I think it might have been the Sharpie. Yeah, and then the frame and the outlining I have also done using the Sharpie, and like I said, this one has been done with the 0.1 micron. Now these little white marks here, as you can see, maybe I'll show you in a close-up. These I have done with this pen, the Uniball pigment ink white ink. And then what else? The final thing to show, I guess, would be the Pentel water brush. This is a medium size. So that is it. I hope you found this video useful, and I guess, oh, the other thing I was quickly going to mention is, one second, I just need to grab it. So to stick down the picture, the photos, I have used a glue, and I have learned from this mistake and won't be doing it again. So if I show you, it has dried by bending the page slightly, if you can see. So do you see, if I hold it like that, so it has created like a hard kind of, I don't know, it feels very hard to me, and so I will not be doing that in the future. I think I will be using a different glue, but this is the glue I used, and it's fantastic for scrapbooking and my other paper projects, but I think in particular here it just does something, either because of the paper being quite thick or something, but it's not a look I like. I like it to be quite flat, so that's something for me to remember for next time. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching, and see you soon.